Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I'm not quite sure.
There's more reaction to the story everyone's talking about. The CEO caught on kiss cam at a Coldplay concert, snuggling with his head of human resources. Today, there are serious questions whether they will be forced to leave their jobs. Allison Hall has the latest.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
The woman who shot that now infamous Coldplay kiss cam that caught two executives apparently cheating is speaking out to Inside Edition.
I could have never guessed that it would be such high-profile individuals in the video.
Welcome back to Clout Therapy, the place where we dissect the juiciest internet scandals one messy detail at a time. And today, we've got a weird one. What started as a joke at a Coldplay concert just spiraled into full-blown relationship drama, wild internet theories, and a lot of people suddenly playing detective. Chris Martin made one casual comment on stage, called out a couple on the kiss cam, and accidentally blew up someone's personal life. The internet went crazy. People started digging, connections were made, and now there are rumors of cheating, secret relationships, and even a celebrity love triangle. Yep, all from one kiss cam moment. So grab your popcorn because we're diving into who that couple really is, why Chris Martin's joke hit a nerve, and how this one-liner became the messiest concert fallout ever. If you love celebrity chaos and accidental exposés, you're in the right place. This is Clout Therapy. All right, now let's get into the couple that set the internet on fire. That viral kiss cam moment, it wasn't just some random pair. Once the clip made its way to TikTok, the internet did what it does best. Identified them in under 24 hours. The man in the hug, Andy Byron, not exactly a household name, but in the tech world, huge. He's the CEO of a billion-dollar company called Astronomer. Think data pipelines, analytics, major enterprise stuff, not exactly sexy, but very powerful. The kind of guy who keeps a low profile, wears all birds, and probably has a standing desk in every room of his house. And the woman, that's Kristen Kitt, also from Astronomer. She was just hired as the new head of HR. Literally joined the company weeks before this concert, super polished, known for giving TED Talk vibes on LinkedIn. And yeah, she and Andy, not married, not to each other, which wouldn't be a big deal if the body language on that kiss cam wasn't so insanely intimate. We're talking arms wrapped around each other, leaning in close, like no one else in the world existed. It was a lot. And the second Chris Martin dropped that cheeky line, either they're having an affair or they're just really shy, everything changed. People weren't laughing anymore. They were rewinding, zooming in, analyzing facial expressions, trying to figure out, wait, who are these people? And why does this feel scandalous? Turns out, both Andy and Kristen are allegedly in other relationships. At least, they were publicly. Before this video, that's when the sleuthing kicked into high gear. TikTok comments filled with people saying they recognized Andy from corporate events. Some even claimed to work at Astronomer. Reddit threads started popping up. People started comparing wedding ring photos, checking Instagram follows, and asking one simple question: what were they doing at a Coldplay concert alone? No assistants, no plus ones. Just the CEO and the brand new head of HR in a tight embrace on the kiss cam. And look, maybe it's innocent, maybe it was a weird angle, but internet detectives weren't buying it. Especially not with the way Kristen looked up at him. Especially not with how comfortable they seemed. And from there, the theories exploded: cheating rumors, power imbalance concerns, workplace ethics, even HR scandal memes. And it all came back to one moment, one concert, one camera pan that changed everything. The second that kiss cam clip hit TikTok, the internet lost its mind. It started off innocent, just a funny concert moment with a cheeky joke from Chris Martin. But within hours, it went viral. We're talking millions of views, thousands of comments, and a whole lot of side eyes. People were tagging their friends saying, wait, this doesn't look right. Others were like, why do they look so into each other? It didn't take long for the video to make its way to Twitter and Reddit, where things got way more intense. Threads started blowing up with frame-by-frame breakdowns. People were analyzing the body language like it was courtroom evidence. One post zoomed in on Kristen's hand placement. Another slowed down Andy's smile. Some were even syncing it with dramatic music for effect. Like, the internet went full CSI mode. And then came the reveal. It only took a few internet sleuths to piece it together. Andy Byron, CEO of Astronomer, and Kristen Kitt, recently hired head of HR. Boom. The whole internet had names. Someone posted screenshots of Astronomer's leadership page. Another person dug up their LinkedIn profiles. And before you knew it, the story had context. Because now it wasn't just two random people hugging at a concert, it was a CEO and his head of HR, both allegedly in committed relationships, caught in a moment that looked way more than friendly. And the timing? Suspicious. Kristen had only been hired a few weeks earlier. That's when the tone really shifted. People started asking serious questions. Was this crossing a line? Was it ethical? Why were two high-ranking execs at a concert together, alone, on a Friday night? Some claimed it looked like an abuse of power. Others wondered if it was a case of workplace favoritism. And since Kristen's literally in charge of HR, that raised even more eyebrows. How do you report something to the person in charge of reporting it? Memes started circulating. People joked that the next all-hands meeting at Astronomer was gonna be awkward. But under the jokes, there was real concern, especially from people who've worked in tech. The comments were filled with women sharing stories about toxic workplace culture, inappropriate relationships, and how stuff like this can spiral fast. And through it all, silence. No statement from Andy, nothing from Kristen, not a peep from Astronomer, which only added fuel to the fire. Because when you say nothing, people assume everything. So what started as a funny viral clip quickly became something way bigger. A full-blown conversation about professionalism, boundaries, and what happens when private moments get caught in public places. Chris Martin probably thought he was just being cheeky, just cracking a harmless joke to keep the crowd entertained. I mean, it's a kiss cam. You're supposed to laugh a little, right? But that one line, that one sentence, either they're having an affair or they're just really shy. It changed everything. The whole stadium laughed, loud too. It felt playful in the moment, just Coldplay having fun with the crowd. But then the cameras moved on and that couple stayed on people's minds. Because the second Chris said affair, that's all anyone could see. It planted the idea that something wasn't right. That this wasn't just a shy couple dodging a kiss, it was something deeper. Something maybe even scandalous. Before the joke, it was just a weird hug. A little too intimate, but hey, maybe they're awkward. After the joke, that hug turned into a possible affair. And when you add the fact that they were identified as Andy Byron, a married tech CEO, and Kristen Kitt, the brand new head of HR at his company, suddenly that one comment from Chris Martin felt way more serious. People started quoting it nonstop. TikToks looped the moment over dramatic music. Twitter users turned it into memes. Reddit threads were titled things like Chris Martin accidentally exposes affair on stage, or Coldplay kiss cam, moment ends, careers. It was wild. The internet took that joke and ran with it. And honestly, it became the lens everyone viewed the entire situation through. It didn't matter if Chris meant it as a joke, because now it wasn't a joke anymore. It became the headline, the line that made it okay to speculate, to assume, to dig. It gave the internet permission to treat this like a full-on scandal, not just a weird corporate coincidence. And for Andy and Kristen, it turned what could have been a quiet little moment at a concert into a full-blown crisis. People weren't just gossiping, they were judging, asking questions about ethics, about cheating, about abuse of power. And it all traced back to that one line. What was supposed to be a funny moment on stage turned into a viral scandal, a workplace controversy, and maybe even the unraveling of 2 personal relationships. All because Chris Martin made a joke that hit just a little too close to home. Now, here's where things go from messy to hypocritical. Because Astronomer, the tech company where Andy is CEO and Kristen is head of HR, has built its entire brand around values like ethics, transparency, and integrity. They preach it all over their website. Their leadership page reads like a handbook on corporate responsibility. They brag about having a zero-tolerance policy for inappropriate relationships in the workplace. 0. As in, not tolerated. Ever. And the guy at the top of all that? Andy Byron. The same man who just went viral on the Kiss Cam. He's given interviews about how leadership is about trust and how culture starts at the top. There's literally a blog post where he talks about the importance of ethical decision-making. And yet, here he is, hugging the head of HR like she's not just a colleague, while they're both allegedly in other relationships. Now let's talk about Kristen. Her entire job is to enforce the rules. She's the one who's supposed to make sure things like this don't happen. HR is supposed to be neutral, professional. The line between staff and leadership is supposed to stay clear. But the second that Kiss Cam clip surfaced, people were like, wait a minute, if this is how the head of HR acts in public, what's happening behind closed doors? And if she's crossing boundaries with the CEO, who's supposed to hold either of them accountable? It sparked a wave of questions. Not just about the people involved, but about the company culture itself. If the top 2 execs are allegedly breaking the very rules they promote, what does that say about the workplace as a whole? Is the zero-tolerance policy real or just a buzzword? Employees started chiming in on Reddit. Anonymous posts claimed the culture was cliquey and fake woke. Others said they weren't surprised because leadership had always seemed untouchable. Some even hinted this wasn't the first time boundaries had been blurred. And let's be real. This isn't just embarrassing. It's a liability. For a company that deals in big clients and enterprise data, integrity is everything. And now their CEO and HR lead are the center of a scandal that screams anything but professional. The internet didn't just call out the hug, they called out the hypocrisy. They held up Astronomer's own values and said, you're not practicing what you preach. And in today's world where company culture is under a microscope, that kind of fallout can do way more damage than just a viral moment. As if the situation wasn't already spiraling, things hit a whole new level of unhinged when rumors started swirling that Andy Byron, yes, the CEO caught on the Kiss Cam, had contacted his legal team. And not just to protect himself. Reportedly, Andy was exploring legal action against Chris Martin and Coldplay's team, all over that one line. Either they're having an affair or they're just really shy. According to sources close to the situation, Andy felt the joke crossed a line, that it painted him in a false and damaging light, that it ignited the scandal and harmed his professional reputation. And so, like any powerful tech exec who's just been publicly embarrassed, he started talking lawsuits. But here's the thing, legal experts were quick to shut that down. Within hours, lawyers were weighing in on Twitter, TikTok, and news outlets. And they were all saying the same thing. He has no case. Every concert venue includes language on tickets and signage that says you may be filmed. You're in a public space, you're being shown on a kiss cam. The whole point is that it's public. And the joke, it was opinion. A lighthearted comment, not defamation, not targeted, not malicious, just awkward timing. Basically, Andy didn't have a legal leg to stand on. And of course, the internet ate it up. The idea of suing Coldplay for a kiss cam joke, people were roasting him, tweets calling him the most unserious billionaire alive. Memes of Andy crying to a judge with Fix You playing in the background. One TikTok even reenacted the courtroom, with Chris Martin strumming a guitar as Exhibit A. It was brutal. What Andy thought would be a smart, protective move turned into another public disaster. It made him look thin-skinned, out of touch, and honestly, guilty. Because when you start threatening legal action over a joke, it stops being about damage control. It starts looking like desperation, and the more he pushed, the more people laughed. It was a PR nightmare, a legal swing and a miss. And worst of all, it kept the scandal in the headlines even longer. Kristen's position, it got real complicated, real fast. As head of HR, she's supposed to be the face of professionalism, the one making sure everyone else follows the rules. But after that kiss cam moment with the CEO, her credibility took a nosedive. Employees were whispering, questioning everything. Like, how can she lead conversations on ethics when she's literally at the center of a scandal involving the boss? HR is supposed to protect people, not cozy up to the top. Rumors started flying. Some said she was being quietly asked to step down. Others said she was staying put, protected by Andy. Either way, trust was gone. People felt like the rules didn't apply to leadership. And then, both Kristen and Andy vanished from LinkedIn. Profiles deleted, completely wiped, no updates, no explanations, just gone. And that silence, it spoke volumes. It didn't calm things down, it made them worse. Employees took it as a sign that something was going on behind the scenes. And for the rest of the internet, it was confirmation that this wasn't just an awkward moment. It was a full-blown cover-up. So here's the question everyone's asking. Was this whole thing blown out of proportion? Or was the reaction totally fair? I mean, yeah, it was just a hug on a kiss cam. But when you're a CEO and head of HR caught looking very cozy at a public event, you've got to expect some fallout, especially when your company preaches transparency and ethics. You can't play the victim when you were literally front and center at a Coldplay concert with cameras everywhere. Privacy at a stadium? Come on. That moment was never private. Now the real debate is, what happens next? Should Andy step down? Should Kristen resign? Can either of them ever lead with credibility again? Some people say it was just bad optics. Others think it revealed something way deeper. Either way, the damage is done. The internet's watching. The company's reputation is shaken. And everyone's waiting to see if they'll face real consequences. Or just hope the chaos fades. What do you think? Scandal-worthy or totally overblown? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more internet drama, influencer chaos, and corporate messes you can't look away from. This is Clout Therapy.